G'day guys, Chaos Chronicles. Alright, so this video is going to be a bit of a deep one, alright, because I have to get into a deep subject so you can kind of understand how I was the way I was, alright? So, in 2006, my son passed away from a congenital heart disease, well, he actually didn't pass away from that. He actually passed away because a doctor overdosed him on warfarin. And if you guys know what that is, it is a blood thinners, and he was in intensive care anyway. And anyway, that's what happened. And so basically I kind of have to give you a bit of a backstory. So, I was very young at the time. I was in my early 20s, and we didn't know that my son was going to be born. It was something that should have been picked up in the ultrasound. It's called hyperplastic left heart syndrome. At the time, it was the rarest heart condition there is. I'm not sure if that's still the title, but it was rare. My son was the 16th person ever to have it. And yeah, he was actually doing really well. He had to have 18-hour open heart surgery the day he was born. And then he was due to have his next heart surgery the week after he passed away. And obviously he didn't make that appointment. Now, how this happened and everything like that, and then having the doctor that done it, nicked off back to India so he couldn't be prosecuted or whatnot. And, it really, and then my girlfriend actually broke up with me like 2 days before the funeral. And then I was just left, I just felt alone, do you know what I mean? And, especially the way my son died as well, and so young and innocent. And I vowed to turn my life around. I started going to church and speaking to the big man and things like that. And then after my son died, I just threw all that out the window. I thought, like, oh, here I am going to the chapel every day at the hospital because my son was staying at Ronald McDonald House across the road from the Royal Children's Hospital. And oh man, I just felt betrayed by the big man. I'm not going to lie. And anyway, so my son passed away, and I got through the funeral and all that, and I kind of just turned my back on life, and which really sucks because I had, he was my younger son who does have two older brothers, and I should have been thinking about them more at the time. But in saying that, I've always been a good dad, provided for my kids, everything like that. All my kids live with me at the moment. I got custody of them when I got out of prison. They've been living with me since. So, but I didn't. And it really, really, really sent me off the edge. And like, I had not one fear. I didn't care if I died. I didn't care. And, which is why I found myself, getting stabbed so many times in those situations. And like, I was a really, really horrible person. And because I didn't have a fear of dying, it just turned me into this really, really repulsive human being. And in saying that, like, I've always been, someone who's approachable and whatnot, but like towards the criminal element, I was bad. And I didn't care, like I said, if I died. And, I was dealing copious amounts of pharmaceuticals at the time, so money wasn't an issue either. And I just developed a really toxic lifestyle, which, introduced me to the bike club scene. And yeah, one thing led to another, and fast forward 4 years from my son passing away, I end up with a 9-year jail sentence. And in that time, I can tell you, like, I was literally Australia's Most Wanted twice, and I really pushed the boundaries. I always carried a pistol on me. I always had a sawn-off shotgun in the car. Um, you know, and was in and out of jail in that time for nothing. I've been to jail for nothing more than violent offences, and yeah, I literally turned into like a bad person, and I was already in the criminal life before my son passed away, but this really tipped me over the edge, and like I wasn't dealing with it well, and since then, I've spoken to people about it. I refused to speak to anybody about it. I kind of shut myself away from my friend element and just really dug into the criminal element, and in all honesty, I got really far in the criminal world. If you look at it that way, like, I've broke bread with made men. I've on multiple occasions. I was a very trusted young person. I'll use one example. Once I had one of my mates ring me off a private number, and he said that to bring my tools, he needs some help digging a hole, right? And so I didn't even question it. I just rocked up to his house with a bag full of guns on his doorstep. He's like, "What's in there?" And I said, "Well, guns." And he said, "What for?" He goes, "I literally need help digging fucking holes, you maniac." And I was like, "Oh," and like, that's just the mindset I was in. And like, I wouldn't even think twice if one of my friends said that they needed help or they were in danger. Like, I was the first person to sort that out. And I was a really, really horrible person. And like, you know, it wasn't until that sentence really changed my life, that 9-year sentence. And like, um, yeah, it just really changed my life. And doing that violence course, that the high VIP violence course, really helped me, and really helped me see how many people my offending is affecting around me, like, and also the victims and all this. And yeah, I decided to change my life, but people often ask, where was the segue that made it turn real bad? And that was it. When my son passed away, it broke me. I'm still broken about it now. And as a matter of fact, this is one of the first times I've ever spoken about it and not teared up about it. I'm actually a little bit teary now I said that, but like, that's the truth, and also, it's something that you'll never get over. It's just something that you learn how to deal with. But that's the answer to that question, guys. Like, that's what pushed me over the edge, and it pushed me right over the edge. And I'm lucky that I seen the wrongs in my ways for my family and decided to turn my life around for my family. And I've never looked back, and it was the best decision I've ever made. But there you go, guys. I told you it was going to be a bit of a heartfelt one, and it is. But moving on to the next one. You guys got any questions you want me to answer, just chuck it in the comment section. And as you know, guys, I get to every comment. It will take me some time, but I do get to every comment. Also, if you haven't subscribed, chuck a subscribe up there. It'd be much appreciated. And smash that bell. That way you will never miss a video again. I've been Big Biff. You guys have been absolutely awesome. Ciao, ciao.